Be ready. 5 seconds. Start. Honorable members, it is our responsibility to provide appropriate opportunities, environment, and quality education to enhance the talent of children. In this regard, the Pradhan Mantri Innovative Learning Program will be started in order to attract children early enough at the school level towards technology. Suitable infrastructure is being created. Through the Atal Innovation Mission, the work of stabilizing Atal Tinkering Labs in about 9,000 schools across the country is progressing rapidly. Similarly, Atal incubation centers are being set up in 102 universities and other institutions. Impressive performance in sports competitions at the world level enhance the pride of the country as well as increases the interest of children and youth in sports. It also strengthens the culture of according primacy to health in life. To make India a global sports powerhouse, it is important that talented players living in far-flung areas of the country are identified and their selection process is made transparent. To identify the players at the state and district level, it has been decided to widen the Khelo India program. Under this, 2,500 talented players have been selected and are being trained. Now, this facility will be provided to 2,500 new players every year. The sports infrastructure in the country will be modernized as well as expanded. A new system is being evolved to make available modern infrastructure and facilities to the players. It is our endeavor that our players win high accolades in the sports world and enhance the prestige of our country. Economic development plays the most vital role in improving the lives of our countrymen. Today, India is among the fastest growing economies in the world. Inflation is low, physical deficit is under control, foreign exchange reserves are growing, and the impact of Make in India is clearly visible. India is now on the way to become the world's fifth largest economy in terms of GDP. To maintain the high growth rate, reform process will continue. It is our objective to make India a $5 trillion economy by 2024. Work is underway in full earnest to transform India into a global manufacturing hub. Keeping in view industry, a new industrial policy will be announced shortly. In ease of doing business, India has leapfrogged 65 positions during the past 5 years from a ranking of 142 in 2014 to 77. Now our goal is to be among the top 50 countries of the world, collaboration with the states. Honorable members, taxation regime plays an important role in accelerating economic development. Along with continuous reform, simplification of taxation system is also being emphasized. Exemption to persons earning up to rupees 5 lakh from payment of income tax is an important step in this direction. Similarly, indirect tax system is also being made simple and effective. With the implementation of GST, the concept of one country, one tax, one market has become a reality. Efforts to further simplify the GST will continue. Keeping in view the interests of small traders, my government has launched a new pension scheme for them. National Traders Welfare Board will be continued shortly, and National Retail Trade Policy will be formulated to promote retail business. Accident insurance of up to rupees 10 lakh will also be provided to all traders registered under GST. MSME sector provides a strong foundation to the country's economy and plays a critical role in employment generation. Several steps have been taken to ensure smooth cash flow to enterprises run by small entrepreneurs. In order to ensure that entrepreneurs associated with MSME sector do not face any problem in accessing credit, the credit guarantee coverage is being enhanced to rupees 1 lakh crore. Good governance reduces corruption, enhances self-respect of the citizens, and enables them to optimally utilize their talents and capabilities. My government will make the zero tolerance policy against corruption more comprehensive and effective. The mission to eliminate corruption from public life and government services will be implemented with greater zeal. Towards this objective, minimum government, maximum governance will be further emphasized. In addition, use of technology will be maximized to reduce human interface. Appointment of Lokpal will also promote transparency. The campaign against black money will be taken forward at a faster pace. During the last 2 years, 4,25,000 company directors have been disqualified and the registration of 3,50,000 suspicious companies has been revoked. The Fugitive and Economic Offenders Act has proved effective in controlling fugitive economic offenders. Now we are receiving information in this regard from 146 countries, including Switzerland. Of these, we have concluded agreements with 80 countries for automatic exchange of information. We are now receiving information about all those who have stashed black money abroad. The impact of Real Estate Regulation Act or RERA is clearly visible in curbing black money transactions in real estate sector and protecting the interests of the customers and house buyers. This is a welcome change in the activity of buying of house property by the needy buyers and others in the trade. All this has usually a decisive impact at the higher levels of decision making and administration in the universities. For both the representatives of college management and of teachers secure representation in the various bodies of the universities of which they form a part. Changes in the structure and content of courses are therefore usually resisted. If they call for more appointments at the college level than the managements are prepared to make, or if much more efforts is required on the part of the existing staff. If any teaching is organized at the university level as is generally done for postgraduate courses, the principle of representation has to be usually given considerable weight irrespective of academic considerations. The various sectional interests involved have to be taken into account also when examiners are appointed by universities and sometimes even when the results of the examinations are declared. Universities as organized now are in fact highly vulnerable to pressures of various kinds. The representation given to colleges, the system of elections to the more important decision making bodies, and direct dependence on government grants are all potential instruments for gaining influence and exerting pressure within universities.